Right, I'm just actually completing the model now. I've done all the various steps apart from fitting the ridge tiles. The condition it's in at the present is all wrapped up with rubber bands to keep it in position as the adhesive is dried. So let's just remove them and see how it looks. Be very careful not to rip off anything as I do it. It's a nice little model. Good curtains in the windows. Chimney pots. Front and the back very similar. One or two things have got a little bit distorted there. Yes, that's the front of the house too. I'll have to slightly amend that. It just pulls it out, that's okay. A little bit more adhesive. I've got a couple of beer mats here cut up, which I'm going to use as a base. Stick that on there finally. But I've got to stick the ridge tile on the top there, and then the kit will be fully built. Let's just do that. Yeah, it's been a while. I just think it's probably been a couple of weeks. I've been doing a little bit to it every day. Quite a nice thing to do because you look forward to the next stage of the model and work out what's next and what you can do about it. Don't get too much adhesive if you don't want it. A little bit of extra gluing required there. Yeah. Okay. Like a lot of these things, you glue it initially and then you need to come back a few minutes later and just press hard to make sure it's in the right position. Yeah, I think I'm going to glue it now to this base. Right. Yeah, it does need someone just to hold that in place till it adhesive really sets. Yeah, the only thing was not quite correct as far as it turned out for me. There is some tiling that goes around the base of the chimneys. You can see there. But certainly in my case, it wasn't quite long enough to go all the way around, and I've had to fill it in with some of these off-cut from the tiles. In fact, this ridge section is also not quite long enough. So I'm going to just fit another bit of this tiling somewhere near that chimney top. Everything else has gone in quite well. I suppose I could criticise the interior flooring as also not quite being long enough, but it depends really when you're making a model like this, the thickness of your own, the card you use, because that can affect things like that. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, here. This version is not the full 00 scale size that you can download. Because I'm modelling in Continental Outline HO, which is a smaller size anyway. But when I looked at it, it's quite a big building for a cottage. Where I would have space for on my layout. So in fact I've not done it as 87% of the 00 size, I've done it at 75%. So I've ended up with a building which is slightly smaller than was intended by the manufacturer. but I think this is more in keeping with my layout. Well, I've enjoyed doing it anyway, and it's nice to find the instructions all correct and everything work out just as they say. So what I'm going to do next is take this upstairs to the model railway and look for a nice location for it. Yeah, I've come to Cottage. I think this would be at home on any outline, German or British or whatever. And of course you can reduce the size to N-gauge if you're doing an N-gauge layout by simply reducing the size of the printout. That's one of the advantages of these online kits. Rather than a set kit, you come at a set size. Okay, little country cottage. Yeah, and that's the back end, looking very similar apart from the back door really. Okay, upstairs now to the model railway. Right, there's a train just about to leave Valendorf station now. Let's see how it's on its way. This is passing the first kit I made about a year ago of the factory. But really I should be looking for a suitable location for this cottage rather than playing train, so we must go to another part of the layout, I think. Well, I think this van is about to go to the other part of the layout, so let's take advantage of where he's going and see if we can find a suitable place to put the cottage. More likely to find a space up at this end of the layout, I think. I do wonder if there'd be room at the end of this car park. Perhaps the car park wasn't made as big as it is here. Perhaps you could locate that cottage here. Yeah, perhaps that cottage could go just here. Could be a holiday let for people who are keen on watching trains. Have a good view there, I reckon. Well, I think it probably looks better over in this location. Showing the field presently has the cows in it. So I think we'll develop the scenery in that area. So after a little bit of scenic treatment, this is how the little country cottage looks now.